Hey guys, welcome back again. So in the last episode of the Blue Twin Engine Starlet, we went down to the dragstrip to test the new traction control setup. Worked phenomenal, but then our short ratio gearboxes were having some problems selecting second gear. We're jumping out of the hole pretty quick, run through the 60-foot mark, go to hit second gear, and just nothing's there. Car's bouncing off the limiter. Eventually when the synchros were slowing down, we were able to get it in, but we just lost too much time. Given that those are the rare 4AGE 20 valve boxes that have the 4.3 final drive, they're next to impossible to get now. So it was time to retire those, and we ended up going back to two standard C56 boxes, which can be found in just the regular GTs or most sort of late 90s Corollas. I didn't want to go to all the effort to put the LSD back in there, so we ended up just welding both of the diffs, front and rear, which makes it incredibly difficult to turn, but when it drives in a straight line, which is what the car's built for, it went really well. So first run, jumped out of the hole, first to second worked brilliant. I'm over the moon, go to hit third gear, nothing's sort of happening. Eventually got third gear, then fourth gear's playing up, and we ran a 10.8 at 138 miles an hour. Went back to the pits, realised since we've had the boxes out and all the cables and that off the gearboxes, I had to do a bit of an adjustment there to get the gate to line up properly, and went out again. Car ran pretty good, come back in, a few more adjustments again, went out again for the final run, and jumped out of the hole really nice. We did a 1.8 60 foot, which is pretty slow, but it took off nice and smooth thanks to the clutch slipper in the back. Second gear worked great, third gear worked great, fourth gear worked great, and ended up crossing a line. We did a 10.3 at 143 mile an hour. Now the funny part is, we've gone to two long ratio boxes, but yet it's finished up at exactly the same mile an hour in the top end. But the main difference here is, I'm not having to change from fourth into fifth gear. We're running fourth gear out over line, we check the logs, and we're at 7,000 RPM. That's telling me we've still got a bit more mile an hour left there, and we've got room now to put some extra boost in there. So one thing I noticed months ago was I looked at the rear bar, and there's a bit of plastic there that's actually wearing away on both sides, and it's telling me that the tyres are rubbing on the rear bar. And I'm looking at it going, how is this possible? It's not even in the right spot. And it actually had me boggled for months trying to figure out how it actually happened. What is happening is there's so much wind drag underneath the car that's actually grabbing that small part of the rear bar, and it's pulling the bar back so far that it's folding in the outsides of the bar, and then it's rubbing on the tyre. So I've attached that now with some zip ties, and that's all holding in place. But there's still this massive area under here that no doubt would be catching a lot of air and probably acting as a bit of a wind drag there. So I'm looking to cut out some big holes, and we're going to put a sheet across the back to tidy it up a little bit. But that way it can relieve some of that pressure that's stuck behind the car. So we think we're ready now to build a proper drag wing for it, cut the holes out of the back to help reduce the wind drag, and we also check the logs after the last run. Third and fourth gear has full traction, everything's working great, so we've still got about 10 pounds of boost left in the front. It's on 20 at the moment, so we'll put another 10 pounds in there, we'll probably bring it up another 80 to 100 horsepower, and we should be well into the nines at that stage. So the turbos that I run on this, they're a GDX 2867 with a 0.72 rear housing, and we have both the same turbo on the front and the rear engine. I've been told by Garrett that it would have 30 to 32 PSI, and then the turbos are going to be out of puff. We don't really want to run them right out to their max because you start getting hot air temps and that sort of thing, which can lead in engine damage, so we're going to end up around 30 pound, leave it at that. We're already considering putting Nick's G30 770 on there, which we know it makes over 400 horsepower in Nick's car, and his car's a 4E. So if we go and put the G30 on the front of this, we should be able to roll in an extra 100, 150 horsepower than what it's on now. Given it has such a big rear housing as well, it's going to give it oodles of torque in the top end. So we've still got a few ideas and things that we want to try on the car to make it a little bit faster. We watch quite a few of the all-motor Honda stuff over in America, and a lot of these cars are making 400 to 500 horsepower. They're, say, naturally aspirated. They've got the holes in the rear bar, and they're still pulling 160 odd mile an hour down a quarter mile. So they're similar shape hatchbacks. We must be doing something wrong, because this is up near 700 horsepower now and still doesn't have the top end legs to get anywhere near 160 horsepower. So we're thinking that wind drag's a serious problem there. So if any of you guys have experience or have any ideas that might help to improve it, chuck them in the comments below. We really do appreciate everyone reaching out and throwing their thoughts there. It really helps us a lot. Also, don't forget the Camp Dog store is still live. I'll leave a link for that in the description below. We're just about to add a whole heap of genuine Toyota seals and O-rings and stuff in there as well. Just little things like dipstick, distributor O-rings, crank seals, cam seals, little washers that go on the rocker covers, little things that help finish your motor off. So we're going to be adding those to the saw soon. Anyway guys, the blue car saga continues. We'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.